Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started here with the press conference with inside linebackers coach and defensive coordinator Peter Sirmon ahead of Saturday's visit to number 22 Pitt. We're going to start with Emmanuel Macedo from the Daily Cow.
Good morning, Coach Sirmon. I wanted to ask, what's your game plan to combat freshman quarterback Eli Holstein and what seems to be a high-powered Pitt offense?
Yeah, it's a great question. He's looks like he's really growing into his own. I think they're doing a nice job of bringing the offense along. It's very variety. There's a lot of variance in what they're doing formationally. They do a good job of pushing the ball downfield with some design shots there, and they're doing a nice job. They have some guys that can go really, I think, got pretty good top end speed on the perimeter that can go up there and make some contested throws and create some space on 9 routes. So we have our hands full again. And then he can move around in the pocket as well. He extends plays and keeps his eyes downfield. So there's a lot for us to contend with.
All right, we'll go to Jeff Corrado from Cowbears on SI.
Peter, your guys were on the field for 86 snaps. And I just wondered if fatigue had a role in the fourth quarter. Do you think they wore down, and how much was that a factor in what happened?
Yeah, Jeff, it does. It does. It's you can say all you want. You gotta bow up. You gotta make the plays. But I think off the stat line, I think it was a 3 hour and 52-minute game from start to finish. Obviously, a lot of highs and lows in that. And, I had concern walking in at halftime, even with where we were, when I got the sheet that said we played for, I think, 22 minutes and 45 seconds and almost 42 plays in the first half. So that was, and then, you lose one or two guys in the front rotation. And, just knowing the type of athletes that the other side had, that was in the forefront. And, we ended up, I think Cam threw the ball 22 times in the fourth quarter. And those reps are just at the end of the game, just proved that we had a hard time managing the pocket. We had a hard time getting to him. We had a hard time when the routes did break down or when the quarterback escaped the pocket. It's just the second and third part of the plays proved to be very, very difficult for us in the fourth quarter.
And how do you look at the matchup of your defensive front against their O-line when you're at Pitt on Saturday?
They're going to be a big physical group. I think they play extremely hard. I think they're tough up front. We're going to have to continue to get better playing some combos, creating some separation, trying to get some negative yardage plays to get behind the sticks. This is another very, very efficient offense. The quarterback, I think, has gotten better every game as I'm watching him from the first game of the year till now. It looks like they're continuing to grow him in the system. I think they're getting some guys healthy back in the running back room. And they got some guys that they obviously are trying to feature to get the ball to. I think the tight end does a nice job of some design things. Jersey number 0 out of the backfield, and as a receiver does some good things. He also returned some punts. So they got some guys that are definite weapons.
Thank you, Peter.
Go to Jim McGill from Bear Insider.
Peter, in a game like Saturday's, when you have a big lead, where do you strike a balance between trying to protect that lead on both sides of the ball versus just doing things the way that you did to get you that lead to begin with?
That's there's a lot of context to that question. And I think it's very, I could probably elaborate on that for a few minutes. I think there's a couple considerations, as you say. It's, what's the lead? How's your team playing? How'd the team get the lead? Was it earned? Was it fluky? Just different situations. The scoreboard and then the clock. And there's a lot of different, ways to look at that. Coming out after half, it's really we kept the same style of play, and really throughout the whole duration of the game, it was similar style of play. The Knowles interception I thought was a huge moment right there. And then the more we played and the looser the game got for their offense, it became became tough for us to manage the quarterback, to be able to manage some of the cover down or the scramble or the plaster situations that he possessed. So I think it goes there's a lot to it, but really the way I called the game, there wasn't a significant amount of difference. I went back and looked at, kind of did a self scout on what I call my critical downs, which were 3rd and 4th downs and 2-point plays. And there were 25 of them. Not every ball was snapped, but there were 25 of them. And defensively, I called 24 different huddle calls on those 25 plays. So I burned through the call sheet, trying to give them as many different presentations, fronts, coverages, disguises as we could. And ultimately, I didn't get it done.
And as a follow-up, on that busted play for Restrepo's 77-yarder late in the game, what happened to cause that to bust, and how do you prevent a critical mistake like that happening in the future?
Yeah, I got to do a better job of coaching it. It's something that, it's a 3x2 with a T swoop that builds what we call it's going to end up being a 4x1 formation. We're going to have an original, so that we're going to respin the rotation from 2x to from the 2 to the 3. So we're going to be sky, and then we're going to plug it on a 4 open. You're going to get a bonus strong hook, and then we got to find what we call our quick cube bender. And those guys are all very, very conscientious guys. So for those guys not to get it done, I have to look back on how I'm instructing it and do a better job of being detailed in that situation. And it's always as a play caller, I have a tendency of playing life and rewind, but that's not the case. I don't have that opportunity, so I have to do a better job of creating some calls or calling some calls that are essentially foolproof, meaning they're locked rotations. I can handle any formation. I can handle any motion. I can handle any vertical routes. And those would be things like big vision quarters instead of playing single high. So those are things that I can internally do a better job of in those situations. That was the 4th shot of empty. We had 2 tunnel screens on the 1st. Then we had an interception touchdown on the 3rd, and the 4th, they gave me a different pitch, and we didn't execute it the way we're needed to.
Okay, thanks.
Go to Steve Croner from the SF Chronicle.
Morning, Peter. This is just a pet peeve of mine, and it kind of came up in your game. And tell me if I'm right or wrong. There's a statement. A lot of people say the defense was on the field too long, which to me implies that it's somewhat that team's offense's responsibility to keep the defense off the field. But if you think about it, you want your offense to score on the first play. It gets the ball, right? Theoretically, to me, the line, the defense was on the field too long, really falls on the defense, not on the offense. That the defense can go get a 3 and out, get a sack, get a fumble, get an interception. Am I right in this, or am I missing something?
No, I think it's all about perspective and how you look at it. And I would say with anybody, it was going to take our entire team to beat Cam Ward. Defensively, Cam Ward and the roster they have built, it's a tough matchups. It's a tough matchup for defenses. So time of possession plays a role. Scoring plays a role. The amount of plays on defense that you play a role. Fundamentally, you are 100% correct. It is the defensive battle to win the battle. And yes, there were, I think at the end of the 4th quarter, they were 2 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. The context of the game is they were in go for it throughout the entire 4th quarter. So unfortunately, the 4th down opportunities, we didn't do a good enough job on the 4th down. So yes, we have to farm our own field. We have to handle our business. But at the same time, it's going to be hard to pitch shutouts, defensively. So you could also say on defense, if they don't score, then your team should always win. And that's probably not realistic in football either. So, I think football is the ultimate team sport. Some days we're going to have to provide more. Some days offense is going to have to provide more. Some days special teams is going to have to provide more. So 100% agree that defensively, I needed to win the game on defense. I also feel like the week before, I had to win the game, and we could have won the game on defense. So the way I look at it, I think defensively we should win every single game. You take a little bit of step back and have more of a holistic approach of 50,000 feet. It's when you look at a game on a Saturday, and Justin does a great job on Thursdays. Okay, he gives his opinion on, hey, what's the plan to win? Are we going to try to outscore them? Are we going to try to minimize possessions? Are we going to try to shrink the game? Are we going to go fast on offense? Are we going to go slow on offense? Are we going to take the ball? Are we going to defer the ball? Are we going to return kickoff returns? Are we going to fair catch it? There's a lot to the strategy of how the team wins. But to get back to your original, defense has to figure it out. Yes.
Thank you.
We'll go to Matt Moreno from Rivals.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Your defense has talked a lot about kind of wiping the slate clean and having that mentality. How important is it to kind of keep that as you go through the season, especially trying to, turn the page quickly from one loss to now getting ready for another ranked opponent?
It's essential. I mean, it's really without any compromise. I'd say that we've had a bad quarter of defense this year, and unfortunately, it was a crummy time. So we have to continue to build on the things that we've done well. We have to address the things that we need to improve. We have to continue to push and demand players do exactly what we ask them to do in coaching, in an effort, in execution. And execution, as I've said every week, is alignment, assignment, technique, and finish. And we can demand, and we're going to continue to build our guys up. We believe in our guys that we put out there. And when we put guys out there, we truly believe they have the opportunity to do what we ask them to do. And then we have to continue to hold them accountable. Their teammates have to hold them accountable. And we have to coach our tails off to get this thing turned around and get back on the winning streak.